At first, discipline feels forced. You have to push yourself. You have to remind yourself. You have to fight resistance. Everything feels like effort. But something changes over time. Discipline stops feeling like a decision and starts feeling like a default. You don't debate anymore. You don't negotiate. You don't wait for motivation. You just do what needs to be done. That's what's happening to you now. You are becoming consistent by default. Most people wake up and ask, "Do I feel like training today? Am I motivated enough? Is today a good day?" That question drains energy. Decision after decision exhausts discipline. You chose a different path. You built systems. Systems don't ask how you feel. They execute regardless. That's why your progress feels quieter, but stronger. The gym rewires behavior. At first, you think about everything. What to do, how long, whether to stop. But repetition removes thinking. You walk in. You warm up. You work. You finish. No drama. That automatic behavior is the foundation of long-term success. Willpower is limited. Conditioning is permanent. When behavior is repeated enough, it stops requiring effort. It becomes familiar, then comfortable, then automatic. That's why consistency suddenly feels easier. Not because the work changed, but because you did. The hardest phase is the early phase. When effort feels unnatural. When discipline feels heavy. When results are invisible. Most people quit there. Not because they can't succeed, but because they didn't stay long enough for consistency to become automatic. You stayed. That's why this feels different now. When consistency is automatic, life feels calmer. You don't stress about missing sessions. You don't feel guilt. You don't feel panic. You trust yourself. That trust creates emotional stability. Stable people don't collapse under pressure. You don't announce it, but your identity is changing. You're no longer someone trying to be disciplined. You're becoming someone who just does it. That shift is subtle, but powerful. Identity drives behavior more than motivation ever could. Ready is an emotion. Default is a behavior. You don't wait to feel ready to brush your teeth. You don't wait to feel ready to sleep. Those actions are automatic. Training is becoming the same way. That's mastery. Dangerous to excuses. Dangerous to comfort. Dangerous to mediocrity. When effort is automatic, nothing can easily stop you. Bad mood? You train. Busy day? You adjust and train. Low energy? You train anyway. That reliability compounds. People chase intensity. They think going harder will solve inconsistency. It won't. Automation beats intensity. A moderate effort done automatically beats extreme effort done occasionally. That's why your progress lasts. Your body expects movement now. When you skip, it feels wrong. That's the sign. Conditioning is complete. Discipline no longer feels like restriction. It feels like alignment. They stay stuck in decision mode forever. Starting, stopping, restarting. They never cross into automation. That's why their results disappear. You cross that line. And once crossed, you don't go back. When behavior is automatic, stress decreases. Overthinking disappears. Emotional swings reduce. You conserve mental energy for things that matter. That's real mental strength. You are becoming consistent by default. Not excited. Not dramatic. Not loud. Reliable. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need motivation. You don't need approval. You just show up. And people like that always win long term. Because they don't rely on feelings. They rely on structure. So protect your systems. Repeat your habits. Trust your conditioning. Because consistency is no longer something you try to do. It's who you are now. Consistency is no longer something you try to do. It's not a struggle. It's not a daily debate. It's not something you force with motivation. It's who you are now. And that changes everything. There was a time when consistency felt heavy. You had to push yourself just to start. You needed reminders. You needed motivation, music, hype, encouragement. Every action felt like resistance. But that phase was training, not punishment. Because effort repeated long enough stops feeling like effort. It becomes identity. When consistency becomes identity, you stop asking questions. You don't ask, should I train today? Should I show up? Should I stay disciplined? You already decided. A long time ago. And decisions made once save energy forever. This is what most people never reach. They live in decision mode. Every day is a debate. Every action requires willpower. Every missed day creates guilt. That cycle is exhausting. You stepped out of it. Consistency didn't arrive suddenly. It was built slowly. One ordinary day after another. One session finished without excitement. One habit repeated without reward. Those days felt small, but they stacked. And now, they hold you up. Consistency as identity means you no longer rely on mood. Bad mood, you train. Good mood, you train. Busy day, you adjust and train. Low energy, you show up anyway. Not perfectly, but reliably. Reliability is power. When consistency is who you are, you don't panic when progress feels slow. You don't rush results. You don't jump systems. You don't abandon structure. You trust the process. Because you are the process. People who rely on motivation burn bright and fade fast. People who rely on identity move quietly and last long. You chose longevity. Consistency as identity means discipline doesn't feel restrictive. It feels natural. Just like brushing your teeth. Just like sleeping. Just like showing up to responsibilities. No drama. No negotiation. Just execution. This is why life feels calmer now. You don't carry constant mental noise. You're not arguing with yourself. You're not starting over every week. You're not disappointed in broken promises. You keep them, and keeping promises to yourself builds unshakable confidence. Confidence built this way doesn't need validation. You don't need praise. You don't need attention. You don't need approval. You already know what you can rely on. Consistency as identity means pressure affects you differently. When life gets heavy, you don't collapse. You fall back on structure. Structure stabilizes emotion. Structure creates calm. Calm allows clear action. That's mental strength. Most people panic under pressure because their behavior is emotional. Yours is conditioned. Conditioned behavior doesn't disappear. When emotions rise, it activates automatically. Consistency as identity means even setbacks don't derail you. Missed days don't become excuses. Bad weeks don't become quitting. Mistakes don't become identity. You correct and continue. That resilience is rare. You no longer see discipline as something extra. It's not an addition to your life. It's the framework of your life. Everything fits inside it. This is why progress now feels inevitable. Not fast. Not dramatic. But inevitable. Because consistency doesn't depend on chance. It depends on repetition. And repetition is already locked in. People will say, "You're so disciplined." They won't see the early days, when it was uncomfortable. They won't see the boredom. They won't see the quiet struggle. They'll just see the result and assume it was easy. It wasn't easy. It was consistent. And consistency builds strength. That doesn't disappear. Consistency as identity means you don't need perfect conditions. You can function tired. You can act stressed. You can move uncertain. That flexibility gives you advantage. While others wait to feel ready. You act. While others talk. You execute. While others restart. You continue. Consistency compounds quietly. It compounds in your body, in your mind, in your confidence, in your reputation. Even if you never speak, one day, you'll realize something important.